Drew Danubi, Sports Radio on 102.9 The Game. Meyers, obviously a bit of a bittersweet feeling given the playoff career high that you achieved in the first half tonight, with the arena rocking, chanting your name at one point, and yet the season losing. Can you just describe what you're feeling at this moment?
I mean, what you said, I suppose, describes it well. It's definitely bittersweet for me. I'm thankful to the staff for them having faith in me and confidence in me to step in game 3 and 4 and do my best to help us win. You know, I just went out there and played confident. Teammates such as Dame on down the line tell me to be aggressive and do what I do. So, you know, it's unfortunate that our season's over. This is a very special team. Guys that really care about each other, guys that come to work every single day ready to go. And, you know, personally, it's just back to the drawing board, I suppose. It was, I suppose, a fun couple of games for me, but it's not about me. It's about the team and about us figuring out ways to win, and just got to move forward, I suppose.
Front row on your right.
Jared Cowley, KGW. This question is actually for both of you, and it might be a little early to ask this without time to reflect on it, but this is the farthest you've played in the playoffs, getting to the conference finals. What did you both learn about playing at this level of competition this deep into the playoffs?
Like you said, it's the furthest we've played into the postseason, and you know, that's a little bit deeper water than what we've seen. You know, it's a little bit more physically and mentally trying. The level of play is higher. It's more on the line, and you know, teams, you know, they take their scouting reports and, you know, the detail to the next level. And, you know, I think it was a great experience for us. You know, a lot of people will look back at it and say, you know, they got swept. But, you know, we had a double-digit lead in the last 3 games and just wasn't able to hold on to it. So I think we showed that we're capable of being here and competing at this level. But, you know, it's definitely different.
To piggyback off what Dame said, you know, this is great experience for us. Obviously, this is not the way we wanted to finish the season. You know, give the Warriors credit. They've kind of been there, done that, obviously. And, you know, they're able to sustain a certain level of play and execution that clearly allowed them to find their way back in, like Dame said, the last 3 games. You know, I think it was 15 plus maybe in 3 straight games, and yet they found a way to execute and get the job done. So, you know, I know after being here for 7 years, I couldn't be more proud of what we did, but now it's, you know, time to, you know, take the summer, get better, come back as a collective unit and be ready to go next year. But like Dame said, this is a great experience for us. We know we can play with the elite teams in this league. And I think this is our first time in 19 years, so that's pretty special. You know, this is a city that embraces our team, embraces this organization, and you know, it was, you know, for me personally, it was incredible, honestly, to be out on the floor and to feel that feeling. But now we have to find a way to take another step.
Second row here on the left.
Mike Richmond, NBC Sports. For both you guys, when you reflect in a couple weeks, what will be sort of the lasting memory from this season? Is there a moment that will stick with you?
I don't think it's one moment that'll stick with us. I think just looking at the season overall, you know, I think it was just a special season for us. We coming off back-to-back sweeps. I mean, it's another sweep, but you'd rather be swept in the Western Conference Finals than in the first round. I just think we look back at the season overall and the way we responded, you know, after a lot of people, you know, got on our cases. You know, a lot of people came down on us, and we got back to work. You know, each guy came back better individually, and we put together a great season. And, you know, we lose our owner. We dealt with injuries. You know, Nurk out for the season. CJ missed a lot of games at a crucial stretch in the season. And we just kept answering the call. And that takes a group for guys to, you know, maybe go from not playing minutes, stepping up, giving us good minutes, trusting each other, leaning on each other. It takes a real group to be able to come together in those hard times on more than one occasion. And I thought we did that. And, you know, we put together a great season and we put ourselves in position to go to the finals. You know, I think every other team in the league would, wish they could be in our shoes. Not only making the playoffs, but getting the opportunity to play for a chance to go to the finals. And we just ran up on a team who's been there the last 4 years. And, when it came time, they were a player down and they executed. They were sharp. They did everything a level up, from what we did. And they was able to come out on top. But I think we can look back at it and see a lot of moments where guys stepped up to the plate from top to bottom on our roster and allowed this type of season to happen.
Casey Holdall, Trailblazers.com. Damian, going into this playoff series, we had talked a little bit about kind of the idea that you needed to go out and show something to kind of get the respect that kind of some of the people at your same echelon get. So how do you look back at your playoff performance now throughout the entire postseason?
I thought I had a great playoff performance. Obviously, the first round was great by our team. I thought I performed great in the first round. In the second round, I think because of how I played in the first round, I got a lot more attention. Everything I did, it was, bodies. They just wanted to make me work, picking me up full court, guard me a lot more physical. But I thought even in the second round, I was just really productive. Maybe in the past, if I wasn't scoring the ball, I wouldn't have had as much of an impact on the game as I did even in that series. But I still thought I scored a lot in that series. Like I said, I impacted it. And then coming into this series, like I said earlier, teams, the detail is much sharper. The scouting report is much sharper. And I think even in this series, they just, they sent bodies at me. I was seeing two guys, and if I got past that layer of the defense, it was another guy waiting. Draymond playing free safety the whole series. So, I think given this being the furthest we've played into the postseason, how teams, came after me and still being able to find a way to be productive. I thought I had a great postseason. Obviously, I look back at the times where I struggled the most, and I'm gonna critique myself off of that. But I think overall, I had a great postseason.
Hang on a minute. Let me just say something real quick. Damian and I have been here together 7 years, and I study a lot of film. And for anyone who thinks that he wasn't productive or he should have made more shots or he should have scored more, go watch the film. They throw a lot of bodies at him. Even if he gets blitzed, like you said, he's getting downhill. There's guys on the help side that are essentially saying, Damian Lillard, you are not going to beat us. So I just want to make sure the naysayers know how much of an impact he has, how great of a leader he is, and his willingness to find the next man and count on them to make a play. And it's as simple as that.
Kerry Eggers, Portland Tribune. Dame, I'm going to give you a chance to say something nice about the guy next to you who 26 games did not even play this season. Coach's decision, was in and out of the rotation, gets into the starting lineup last game, plays well. But tonight, what can you say about what he did?
I think tonight, it was special. I just remember in the first half, I looked up and in my mind, I remembered him just making a bunch of shots. And then I looked up and it was like, this dude got 25 points. And I was like, he really killing right now. And I had never seen him have like a moment like that, and what better time than, for him to have that type of moment. So I was excited for him. And I think that just goes into what I said earlier. All season long, we've had things happen and guys have had to step up. And he's a prime example of that, not just this year, but just over the last 7 years. A lot of people have had a lot to say about him and what he doesn't do, what he should do, and all those things. And as NBA players, people get online and they say things, and they don't really know what goes on behind closed doors. They say things without knowing, but not taking into consideration that we people. And we go home to families and friends and kids like everybody else, and they just beat you down. And I think he's been through that. So to see him have a moment like he had tonight, and being here with him from day one, nobody was more happy for him than I was. And it was a great night for him. I just wish it would have been a win, so people could really give him that credit for that performance.
Jamie Goldberg from the Oregonian. Damian, you obviously were playing through injury for a good part of this series, but tonight it looks like you left it all on the court. What mindset did you have to be able to battle that fatigue, that injury, and play like you did tonight?
I mean, I've had worse injuries. I think it's as simple as that. I've had worse injuries, so I didn't come into the game saying, "Oh, I'm playing through the injury." You know, it was something that, you know, yesterday at practice, I shot the same. I, you know, did the same stuff I always do. So obviously it's there. It's pain, but it's not something that's impacting what I'm doing on the floor. You know, I think that's the best way to put it. I've played through worse things, but I think just fatigue. You know, just all of the attention. After 82 games, this being the deepest we've played, and teams are, you know, coming after you, and that takes energy to deal with that and to make plays and to try to score and go to the other end and, you know, chase guys around and stuff like that. That takes energy. So I think, like I said, it was there. Obviously, it's pain, but it's not something that affected anything involving like my performance or me having to leave it all out there. I was going to leave it all out there the same way if I was 100% healthy. But you know, that's just what it was. I went out there, season was on the line, I did what I could.
Last question, second row.
Dave, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. You guys are so connected, and for a team like that to come in here 3 straight times, really, and overturn a 17-type deficit in the second half, what is it about them that allows them to do that against a group like you, and what are the intangible qualities you saw in them throughout this series?
I mean, they've got great players. You know, I think the first thing everybody looks to is the shot making. So you say, you know, Steph and Clay, they, you know, shooting the ball all over the place. But, I mean, Draymond Green, he's nonstop talking on the court. He's rebounding the ball. He's basically the point guard of the team. He's pushing the ball. He's making plays. He's calling out our plays. I mean, he's controlling everything for them. And I think because he's always so vocal, always on top of everybody, always kind of managing everything for them, it keeps them consistent. You know, they steady. And I think for us, we game 2 and game 3, we were great for 3 quarters, but the 1 quarter where we weren't, it was the 3rd quarter. And, you know, they made big runs in the 3rd quarter, and I think that was when they got back into the game each time. So I think just how steady they were, you know, I think that shows in the championship team. It's whether they down, whether they up, they do the same things. They play the same way. The ball is hopping around. They moving around. They screening. Everything is sharp. They defending every possession. They rebounding the ball. Hands active. And I think we did a lot of those things when we were winning the games, but then the second that we stopped doing those things or relaxed, they were still doing it. And they made up ground, and it led to 2 threes in a row. Then we get a foul, 2 free throws, offensive rebound, 3, and before you know it, you was up 15. Now it's a 3-point game, and they feeling good. So I think just how steady they are, and I think that's led by Draymond Green.